after the program, but we want to get through the program first. So if you would please find a seat, get your donut and your coffee. That'd be wonderful. Let's give a nice round of applause to our piano player, Karen Hillen, for the wonderful music this morning. Thank you so much, Karen. It's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you. And as we get started on our day, I would like to call Jim Vermiglia up here, and he is going to open us in prayer, and then we'll get on with our program.
Let's bow together in prayer. Father, we want to pause and pray at the beginning of this meeting, and we do it not just out of habit, but because of our sincere desire to acknowledge you as the Lord of our lives. It is in you that we live and move and have our being. Our hope is in you. It's our desire to honor you in every aspect of our lives. Today we have a great opportunity to learn and gain a better understanding of Hernando County, where we live. We're thankful for those who work in public service and for their willingness to come and share with us today. We ask for your blessing on this time together, and it's our desire to be an encouragement to our guests today as well. Lord Jesus, we thank you for your saving grace and the joy of living in this world for you. May we not only be recipients of your grace, but help us to extend grace to those who travel life's journey all around us. This morning, we especially want to pause and pray for Al Jewell as he is going through heart valve surgery as we meet here today. Be with the medical team that's working. Guide them, we pray. Bless Audrey as she stands by. Thank you that we can lift our needs to you. We pray for those who are suffering in Haiti and Ukraine and Gaza, Israel, and other places in this world. We are so blessed to have the freedom we enjoy this morning. Thank you for this time and for your presence. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you, Jim, for that wonderful opening prayer. We have such a privilege today to be able to have Hernando County come out and talk to us and tell us all the wonderful things that happen in our county. How many of you will be leaving us, a show of hands, to go back up to your north homes? So a fair amount of you. Okay, so when you go back home, make sure you tell your counties what our county's doing. Okay? Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to call up Jeff Rogers to be able to give to you an overview of what has happened in our county and what is going to be happening in the future in our county. And then after the program is over, the vendors will still be here, so you can talk to them a little bit more and get some more insights to that. And before I bring Jeff up here, I do want to give you one announcement. Very important announcement. Save the date for Sunday night at 6 o'clock. World Hope is offering an ice cream social here at the Nicholson Center. So if you like ice cream, 6 o'clock on Sunday, be here for the ice cream social. Okay? And so now I'd like to call up Jeff Rogers, the County Administrator of Hernando County.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Outstanding. Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Hernando County. Before I start a little bit this morning, I wanted to say thank you for letting us come back here again this year. A couple things. We do a lot of speaking around the county at different community centers, different auditoriums. And I just say, you guys have an amazing event place here, right? Every time I come here, I'm like, man, this might be the best place to speak, right? And so just credit to you and your maintenance of this place and having this great place. Secondly, I wanted to remind you, you're also very blessed. You have what I think, I might be partial, but I think you have an amazing, beautiful community manager here. And so, than her number, but let's turn this on. So real quickly today, we're going to kind of go over what Melissa said a little bit, some past accomplishments, where we are in the county, what things we're working on, and then some services we have. A lot of you have already visited a lot of the groups we have here today, services for you. So I encourage you to speak with each of the different departments and see the services they can provide for you, and a lot of things for you to take home to remind you of what Hernando County can do. We did bring a few things on your tables. I always like to point these out. One is a government services guide. This guide is really important. It's not only it provides phone numbers and contact points for your local county government, different departments. If you have a pothole, there's a number in there to call. If you need to, if the mosquitoes are on your back porch, and mosquito control numbers in there. There's also numbers for other elected officials, sheriff's office, tax collector, poison hotline numbers. Great numbers in here for you to have, keep handy, right? There's also two other things in here that's really important. One, your county commissioners, right? So you have 5 county commissioners that you elect. I basically work for them. So if you have complaints and everything, their phone numbers and emails are in here. You can complain to them. If you have compliments, you can call me. Right? Secondly, we did provide a annual report, and what I like to show this annual report about, if you look through it, there's some really amazing numbers, the number of calls and service calls we do for the different departments, but this is where basically all your tax dollars go every year, and so I like to be real transparent to everybody and show you exactly all the different services we provide and where all the dollars are going every year. I will add, you probably somebody saw this exciting new thing for us. The Mermaid Tail Trail is throughout the county. If you've driven around, you might have seen these mermaids throughout the county. And now we even have one now in the Welcome Center when you come into Florida on I-75, telling people about Hernando County, right? So one of the unique things is we do have a City of Live Mermaids. And so now there's a new app you can go, and if you find them, and it's a little game you play, if you find them all, you get rewards and discounts at different vendors and restaurants for finding those. So it's a great way to drive around the county to see some great mermaids. So let's get started a little bit of other discussion points today. So I'd like to start off real quickly with the core values of Hernando County. So these values are what we use when we hire employees, the team members that we hire to serve individuals. These are what we look for, and these are the core values that we instill in all the projects we move forward. And we make sure that not only we're being innovative, I'll talk about that again later on today, but community-focused, responsible stewards of your tax dollars, and they collaborate, working with other partners, trying to figure out the county can't do everything, but we'll talk about that some more today, how we work with other organizations. They might do it better. We provide funding and space for them. The government doesn't need to be doing everything. The government needs to hear support for the whole community mission. I do have to talk about the budget. So the money always starts with the money, right, and ends with the money, right? So your tax code. So as we go through another budget session this year, and I have some good news at the very end here for you, though. But the positives are the county is growing a lot, right? I'm going to talk some numbers today about how much we're growing. You see a lot of new houses. Traffic's getting worse, right? So there's a lot of growth coming in the county. And positively, it brings in revenue, right? And so it brings in more revenue for the services of the government. Property values have been increasing. This year they're kind of stacked. Right now they're kind of staying constant. The last few years, like a 27% increase every year. Property value has been going up. So that's good and bad, right? It's more revenue. It does cost taxes based off property values also, right? So we got to watch how much we charge for taxes. And then different revenue streams are coming in. Sales tax, the importance of tourism, right? Tourism, the real important is it brings people to your community. And as people come to your community, right, they spend dollars in your community. Part of that sales tax that you pay, that 6.5%, goes to the state and comes back to your county to use for revenues to fund your government, right? So that's the real purpose of, that's why Florida really doesn't have a state tax, right? Some of you might have a state tax and you have in the other states you've lived in before. Florida doesn't because we have tourism, right? Everybody in the world wants to come to Florida. It's the best state in the country and the best country in the world. And so everybody wants to come here, visit here, and that's when they spend dollars here. Those dollars go to fund your government so that the people that live here don't have to pay as much. Your taxes might be less here than another if you live in another state. That's why, because we have tourism, because we have live mermaids here, so please come visit them. Nobody tell them that they're not live, right? So negatives, right? Like all you, inflation has gone crazy the last couple of years, and you can blame who you want to blame on it. But inflation is a cost. Your government spends probably almost as much money as any other organization in the county or in the state. So we spend a lot of dollars every day providing services. That inflation hits us too. The amount of gas, fuel, electricity that we provide, there are over 1 million square feet of buildings, right? Hits us too. There's always unfunded mandates, costs going up, new programs provided by your legislature necessarily don't have the funding come with it. So you've heard there's lots of things we have to pay for, your jail and things like that, Medicare costs that we pay for, uninsured people in the community that go to the doctor, we pay a portion of that cost. FRS is state insurance retirement costs, and then capital projects. You probably witnessed it here in your own projects. Costs continue to go up on construction costs. And it's really a supply-demand issue. There's so many people wanting to do things. There's so much growth that the people that do the contracts can charge more. And around the whole country that's happening. So to get material, you got to pay more now. So costs go up. So we balance that every year, but we're required to have a balanced budget. Maybe unlike some other places in the country. To your government, one of my things by July 15th, I have to provide a balanced budget to your county commissioners and what we foresee every year going forward. And we've done that successfully in the past 2 years. So historically, Hernando County's funding millage, right? So what we charge for property taxes. 2018-19, there was some concerns here in the county, and we had to raise the tax rate 1 mil to make sure we had enough revenues to be safe, for security, enough reserves, and to fund the cost of government at that time. And since then, we made a vow then that we were going to cut the taxes and give all those taxes back to the citizens that year that provided them to us. And we've done that, and I'm successful last year. We met that, so our tax level now is lower than it was. As you can see, 2023 is lower all the way, almost going to hit 2016 this year. We're hoping to go back and have a lower tax rate than we had in 2016. But it makes sense. It's how proper government should operate. As communities grow, right, more people move into a community, spreads out the burden, right? And then those that are here should continue the tax rate to go down. Now, tax bill might not be going down overall because property values continue to go forward and because of supply and demand, everybody wants to be here. And so, but the tax rate itself is continuing to go down. Property values are continuing to go up. If they level off, you hopefully see some decline in your tax bill eventually. So we're really some accomplishments we've done. We're really happy about what we've done environmentally the last couple of years. So fertilizer ordinance, that's really important about how much fertilizer people put on their lawns, businesses put on their lawns, golf courses, because it goes into our groundwater and affects how clear our water is, our springs, the Weeki-Wachee River, Mud River, and our Gulf Range. Really protect, make sure it's important. So we've enacted the strongest fertilizer ordinance in the state of Florida this last year. So we banned more months when you can't apply fertilizer. It's a little harder to keep your grasses green here, I can tell you that, because fertilizer helps keep it up. But we limit it to a few months a year that you can actually apply the liquid fertilizer that much, minimizes how much goes into the groundwater. Springs Protection Zone. So if you've been out the Weeki-Wachee River, Weeki-Wachee Spring is the first magnitude spring, great spring in our county. That river is really beautiful. But it's a great thing to do is go out there and you want to boat and see it. And a lot of people go out there and swim in it and take the dog out there and have a picnic all day. And that's been happening here forever. I've done it. It's a beautiful place. But the problem is that with the growth, we have to balance recreation and growth, right, and conservation of our lands. And so we made a new rule. The legislator wrote a new law. And it's going to go into effect here in the next month. I have the signs. We're just getting a permit to put the signs in place. That you can't no longer get out of your boat on the Weeki-Wachee River. You can't moor or anchor your boat. You can go up and down the river, but you can't get out and walk along the river anymore, swim in the river because people are just trampling on it. And the amount of people coming here, Tammy Heon and her tourism staff might have done too good of a job. And we're promoting people coming to Hernando County to get some more revenues, but everybody goes to the river and it's kind of destroyed. So we made a new law to protect that river. Probably one of the most best environmental laws written in the state of Florida. In the long term here, it's going to be great because pretty soon you're going to go on a boat ride on that river or go out there and walk out there. You're going to see an amazing amount of natural environment. The grass is going to grow back, and we're going to have an amazing environment there in the Weeki-Wachee River. So some capital projects have been done this last few years, right? So the Judicial Center, if you've been to the courthouse, in the front of it, you might see a brand new, beautiful entrance through our courthouse. And so I encourage you, that's because the county continue to grow, we need more courtroom space. And so we upgraded the courthouse, more security, more courtrooms for the judges, better access, so people that do need to go there, you get a speedy trial. If you need a traffic ticket, you don't have to wait 2 or 3 months to get there, to get that option removed from you. Fire station upgrades, really important. We need a study in the county as we're growing. We need to make sure that that response time is there when we need our fire and EMS to help us out in our time of need, right? And so as we continue to grow and more people in the community, that response time to get to you would get longer, right? And so we've been adding more fire stations in the county. Throughout, we did a study on where they need to be, what part of the county that takes longer to get to with the new traffic issues and new developments and new roadways. I'm happy to say that we just built a couple new stations. The next station we're building is Station 15, a brand new station in the county, and it's going to be over here on Spring Lake Highway, right? So you know where Papa Joe's restaurant's at, right up here. And so right past Papa Joe's, about 1.5 miles down the roadway on the left-hand side, we own a piece of property. We are under design right now. We're hoping to break ground by the end of the year with that station. So that'll be a brand new station to serve this kind of area, because as we get busy, these ambulances and fire trucks get called to other locations, and then they won't necessarily be here in your time of need. So we're excited to be putting a new station here, new ambulance, new fire truck, right here on Spring Lake Highway to make sure we maintain a quick response to this kind of part of the county. Radio system upgrade. You know, a lot of times our cell phones these days don't work everywhere in the county, right? You're driving and your cell phone doesn't work somewhere, and that's okay for me and you, I guess, right? We can not get our texts from our loved ones, but what can't happen for police and fire in the past, it hasn't happened in this county really well. They also have had the same coverage issues. So lots of times our police and fire get to places and they try to radio and there's no connection, so they were actually pulling out their personal cell phones trying to call in, so they need backup, unresponsive. So we've been upgrading our whole fire system, $13 million upgrade to increase it. So what we didn't do is spend tax dollars on that. Some of that, you remember during COVID, and the federal government tried to fix COVID, and whether or not you don't want to second-guess the decision, but they provide a lot of funding down to counties and governments to try to provide services to people, help people out. We did some programs for rent relief and things, but we also did is spend some of those dollars on necessary capital upgrades for our community. So this is one of them. We paid with this stuff with some of the dollars we got for COVID response to upgrade medical services. So this is going to be a brand new thing, so that we'll know your police and fire will always be communicated in our county and won't have any concerns. And these are things that need to happen long term. Tax collector's office, we continue to grow. If you had to go get DMV, get license renewed, registration renewed, we can't. We're putting a brand new building out on the west side of the county on Forest Oaks. Because before people were standing outside in the rain and the hot sun waiting to get inside, that space has been the same since like 2000. So the big need is we continue to grow in this community. Also excited about that project. For the kids in the community, a brand new splash park is under design at Anderson Snow. So if you or your grandkids come into the community, we're going to have we're going to have the best splash park in this area easily. We went and visited the ones in Inverness, down at Tarpon Springs, and we determined the one we were building wasn't good enough. And so we expanded it, and so we're going to have an amazing facility at Anderson Snow where you take people to and have the kids enjoy the hot summer. Because in the Florida area, you got to get to the water, right? And so we got to provide access for our children to great place. And the landfill, the cell for very important, right? So as we continue to grow, if you want to minimize costs, you got to control it yourself. So we're expanding our landfill, but luckily we have enough space up there to do that with. If we don't, you got to truck that trash somewhere else, right? And if you know, transportation costs are really expensive. So just to minimize our future costs, we built this huge hole up there. They're going to line it now just for the future waste services in the community. And some cool things we're doing. As you know, the growth, and we'll get to the growth next in the county, a lot of permitting coming in, a lot of houses. I know you guys have a couple projects here that's in our permitting system, working with the engineers, trying to get those done. There's been a huge influx, right? way more than we actually can handle. So we're working hard on trying to improve our system, improve our ability to review all these permits and get them out. We've actually brought in artificial intelligence now also. Pretty proud that we're moving that way. So it's not about replacing jobs, it's about taking apart of jobs that's mundane, that can be done by a computer, right? And so the greatness of people is our ability for intellectual thinking. And so we can think and solve tougher problems. Every day as you move forward, the ideal tasks that our staff does that are mundane, so the example is housing plans. So we're now instituting where we're using basically a computer to read our code, read the plan that's submitted. Every house has to have 2 trees, a 5-foot setback from the sidewalk, 7.5-foot setback from the property line, and so much square footage of the house. The computer can calculate that a lot faster than we can get our ruler out. Right, and so we're working through a program now to have the computer do that, to automate it, and then our tech staff will do the tougher projects and the things that are there. Then it's a tougher project, weird lot or something. So that's what we're using artificial intelligence for. It's you're going to have to do that to go back to minimize your future costs, right? You can't grow government to the size of government that needs to provide the same level of service as the community doubles in size over time. So that's important. We instituted a call center for all the calls we get for permitting. That's really helped keep our staff available to actually do all the work in the future and try to get all these permits out and develop the community. So growth in the county. So one of the things we're looking at, and it's a quote, but it's true. If you fail your plan, it's a planning to fail, right? So if you don't plan for your future, the community, it'll fail. So the Board of County Commissioners now, led by the past chairman, John Alaco, is really working right now to do a lot of master plans of the community, plan what the community looks like 20 years from now, and get property acquisitions done, that where we need the government to be located at. And then if we don't plan the developers that are coming in here, we'll plan it for you. They're going to plan it how they would like to see it and what's cheapest for them. So we're holding the developers accountable, making them put in frontage roads, minimizing access, making them build water, sewer additions, so that the people coming in are paying for a lot of these costs. So we have to have these things planned out to know what we want. Otherwise, we're just going to. So we do a lot of master plans right now. We've done them for Matt Sheriff. I mentioned the fire already, jail. We're doing a parks master plan this year coming up, and we've done boat ramps in the past. So we're doing a lot of plans of where we need to be in the future. We just met with the school system yesterday, had a big meeting with them talking about the growth, where the kids are going to be at school at, and what they need to do to make sure that we have available space for all the kids in the community. At the same time, trying to work together so maybe we can be on the same piece of property, and so we can minimize the cost of government. If we have to add a park 15 years from now, and they got to buy the school, let's go together and not use the same fields, right? Not have those fields in our fields. So we're trying to work together between governments. It's a great way to save money. We are going to be talking about impact fees next month. So we do charge impact fees currently on all the houses that are built. So there's a one-time fee for anybody moving into the community pays to help with all these capital costs and expansions we have to do. We're always looking to raise those impact fees. We're currently looking at numbers right now, how high we're going to raise those fees next month. So it is a good study. So here's some great fun stuff, right? So this is some growth in the county as we develop houses. Behind houses comes retail, right? So we're proud to say one of the most things we get asked about is where can we have an Olive Garden? So I love it too, right? So soup and salad, I'm there all day, right? So there is going to be an Olive Garden. It's in-house now. And my daughters love all the breadsticks. I eat them all. It's crazy. And so, if you know where Sabre 50, where Register Chevrolet is, I think it's Brick Ridge Retirement Community there. There's a big piece of land right next to it. It's got some silk fence around it now. All permitting departments working hard on permits for that whole development, and that's going to be a big commercial development. Olive Gardens is going to be in that development. They're in for a permit, so we're hoping they'll start building here in a few months. Other things we got, some more Wawa's and Caroline, Chick-fil-A, the Wendy's, TJ Maxx is out there on US 19, shopping, So Fresh, little healthy food stores coming into a shopping center. But the next one is Panda Express, Outback, Olive Garden, Miller's Ale House, and Rooms to Go. We're all going on that one complex right in front of the Brook Ridge Retirement Community at State Road 50, next across from Register Chevrolet. And maybe a couple of more things are coming in also. We don't know what those are yet. So those are all going to be in there and built this year. BJ's Wholesale Club, that's with the Sears over there at Mariner and State Road 50. You've probably seen the big blue construction fence around by Chick-fil-A over that area. That's where that's going to be at BJ's. They're in there knocking that building down now, rebuilding it. Sprouts Farmers Market's in that same shopping center, that's way down in that same shopping center. They're coming in there. And then Chick-fil-A, there is a potential Chick-fil-A getting built in Brooksville, a little closer for you guys now, just south of Lowe's on 41, that area. There's an applicant in there trying to design a new Chick-fil-A for that area. So these are all, hopefully they thought that permits come in and they make it, they don't make it, but I think it should all happen. So, and then some more assisted living place in front of Glen Lakes. I got a couple hotels in the pipeline and probably a lot of other stuff that I don't know about. We're growing pretty rapidly, but so hopefully that's some good news about some new dining alternatives in the communities and shopping. But some real economic development that we're working on is some of these last things that happened this last year. Cabot Citrus Farms. If you're into golf, you know there's if you haven't heard this, north part of the county up by our landfill, it used to be called Woods World Golf Place, bought by Cabot Citrus Farms, a world-renowned golf resort, right? So they do high-level resort golf things. They're open now, actually, but they're investing millions, like $250 million into our community. Upgrading that, they got condos and things up there you can buy and rent out and stay there. They're opening up. They're actually open now for us shooting range. We shoot the guns and shoot the little pellets or something out of there. I don't know what that stuff is, but so they're up there shooting with the range up there. And they're going to have a 3-hole putt golf thing up there. They're going to have restaurants and dining, so it's going to be a nice little event place to go to. But the big thing is they're bringing a lot of people in our community to go there, right? And they're paying a lot of tax dollars and minimize all the raw costs. And then downstream of that, a lot of businesses in our community have services there. They're going to hire 400 people. First off for jobs, and then downstream a lot of pest control and linen services, air conditioning services, all that's going to happen in that whole community that's getting built there. And more jobs in our community, tax dollars, and it's a great asset for them building here. We're very lucky. Bread Outdoor Living, they just expanded the whole factory at our airport. They make fences, right? So if you go to Home Depot, Lowe's in Florida, Georgia area, and you buy a white picket fence or a steel fence, it's made in Brooksville, Florida. And so they have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week factories there that make these fences, great manufacturing jobs. We just got a hold one. It's always competitive. We win against Tennessee, trying to see where they're going to build the next factory. They just built it here and opened it up. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week factory. Plastics extrusion parts. So all the plastic parts. You got big old technical equipment in there making these parts, but it's high tech manufacturing jobs, which is really important. You know, the reason why we stress economic development is that. For your everyday tax dollars, a house that comes in, you think, oh, great, somebody else here at the house paying taxes. For every dollar that they pay in taxes, it costs about $1.17 in services to the government. Because sometimes you're going to have more police calls, right? That's unfortunate, but domestic violence and things like that in people's houses, right? More ambulance calls to that house. You got to build more parks and recs. Schools, you got to go up, right? So for every house that comes in, we love it. And we love serving everybody, but it's a burden on the government. Every commercial development that comes in, they pay $1 in taxes, 39 cents in services to them. So that's why economic development businesses are vital for your communities and your community back in the communities you live in. That's why everybody always stresses getting jobs, right? And getting not only for people to have jobs and careers and lives and quality of life, it's also to help pay for the services that we all love and use, right? So that's why we're stressing economic development so hard. We'll talk some more about it. Penman Turbine Engine Services, we just worked with them. They built a 80,000 square foot big warehouse where they bring in turbine engines off of planes, right? And run them and test them. Because in my truck outside, I probably have a check engine light on right now, but I'm okay. I'll just keep driving. The next time I go check it, next time I go in, it's probably not okay to have a check engine light with 30,000 square feet. Check engine light wants to keep flying. Maybe it is. But recently, everything drops off the planes, right? So every week there's something dropping off. Maybe they need to go there more, right? To get the check-ins to get stuff fixed. That's what they do, right? So great manufacturing, your high-skilled jobs for our individuals to learn and to check things, but they're expanding here at our airport. We're doing an industrial land study. We're checking all the property in the county, where we should make sure we have enough land in the future for more companies like this to grow and land here, to provide jobs, provide quality of life, and minimize our tax burden. We're going to talk about this. This is on Spring Hill Drive now. You drive down Spring Hill Drive, kind of crossing the jail. You'll see this big area all bulldozed down, and there's one building in the middle of it. That building is a Wilton Simpson Technical College. That is a technical college. We had a technical college here at the school system, training people in HVAC and welding and manufacturing, some nursing programs in there. It was all kind of done at night at the school system. So now we're going to have one building, and then we're expanding to what we're offering there, right? So the goal really is training, right? So we can have companies come here and work here, but you have people that's trained, skilled people is what companies really need, is what we need. And what we need to do is give those training opportunities for our kids, for our citizens, so that if they choose, they can have a quality of life with that job, right? So you have to be able to train people. So that's a training college that is getting built there right now. We've been building this whole campus. This whole campus has a vision, and it's going to have another training college. We're working at Pasco and Andrew State College. They're going to have their own training college next to it. That's going to be the next step up. So you might do entry level air conditioning in that one, and the next level, higher level, master planning whole buildings and things would be a certification PHSC. Same as nursing, entry level here, higher level PHSC. So that people want a career advancing, we give them that opportunity to better themselves. But also, it also helps. What we like about it is our businesses. Our businesses that operate in there, they're helping us figure out what training programs they need in the future so they can get skilled people and they can stay here, first of all. As business will move where they have to move to make money, right? So to stay here, we have a job, we have people coming in to work, and then we can serve them and they can be more successful. So that's exciting. The latest thing, groundbreaking news on this is, we're just working on, is, the last president made Space Force, right? At first we're thinking that's a funny name, recently a movie, right? They've made a whole other branch of the military, right? Well, I was in the Navy, and I don't think you don't make a branch of the military at a whim, right? So you think about it, the space industry in America and in the whole world is where all the future is going to be, right? So there is a big space race now between Florida, Texas, and Alabama on who's going to get how much of the pie of the space industry. Florida has a big advantage. There's a reason why they use Kennedy Space Center, because you can launch from there, and I don't understand it all, but you can do what they call a polar launch. You can launch south, and you can launch north from there. Only place in the whole world that you can launch as the Earth rotates, and you can launch them there to go 2 different ways into space to make the orbits and everything. That's probably got your rocket scientists for that to figure all that out, but they figured that out. So we're like, well, why Brooksville, Florida? Why do we care, right? It's over there on the East Coast. They're doing all the space stuff. Well, let's tell you, they're going to launch it all from there, right? They can't build it all there. They can't make it all there, manufacture it all there, right? So we call it T-minus 360. It's about 3 hours straight across Straight Route 50. You can go right over to the Kennedy Space Center, right? You can give them one today and go visit and come back tonight. So we're working on now these training colleges. The reason why I'm putting them up here, we're going to have training in them for the future of the space industry, right? What they need to make things that go to space, to support the operations in space as they continue to do more things in the future in space. Space is probably going to be one of the biggest industries in the country in the future. The state of Florida made a whole department called Space Florida, right? It's a whole separate entity off of the government of Space Florida just to incentivize and capitalize on space technology for the future of the state of Florida. So we are working on right now making what we call it the Space Hub, Hernando County Business Incubator Space Hub. We're working on this as of last week. We met with Congressman Bilirakis on some basically ability to get a federal earmark to start this building out and to basically have technology trades in here and teach the elementary school kids who are working with the school system and PHSC all the way to college levels. So the kids in elementary school, they take field trips, go over here, hands-on experiments on things like robotics, electronics, everything you'll need to build things to the space in the future, right? A lot of those things we use today just on airplanes, right? It's just to another level. Same thing, just a different atmosphere they got to build it for. And so all those things are transferable to the aviation industry, but we're going to be trying to do it for the space industry in the future. And so the first thing I want to do is we're going to start training people for careers in the space industry here in Brooksville, Florida, at Hernando. And then the goal really is that we do that. We have hundreds of acres of land over here, and I go back to your taxes at the very end. Why do we do all this effort, right? And why am I go when I present to SpaceX and Blue Origin and talk about Hernando County in the future. Not that they're going to build it today, but those companies are going to exist in the future. They're only going to get bigger, right? One day they're going to be launching things and having space things on the moon and everything. We want them here, right? So we're talking to them today about their future plans, where they're going to be. And we're going to put the training in place, the infrastructure in place, and basically all for the benefit of our citizens who will benefit from these companies being here, paying high tax dollars, and we will minimize our costs in the future and have a greater quality of life. So we're excited that you'll probably hear some things in the news about some space industry in Hernando County. We've just begun to kick all this off. Got approval by the Board of County Commissioners yesterday and the school board to work together, working with the Congress on dollars and going out to Space Florida to build it here. So this is the inside of the airport real quick. You can see there's three roads in there. That's all available land and building space in there. We're working on a plan right now how we're going to build all that in the future. So some great economic things that are going to be available here in the future. So now we're going to go a little bit of some services that we provide. For the first slide I want to talk about is some changes that's happened in society that's causing changes in the government, right? So locally, a few years ago, opioid addictions happened to a lot of people. They got addicted to pain pills, right, and other things that were provided to them for different causes in their life. And it wrecks people's lives is by getting addicted. As you might know somebody that's gone through has some mental concerns in their life right now. So Hernando County, remember we got, all the big pharmaceutical companies and Walgreens is on the news. They all get sued, right? Or we're giving out too much opioid. There wasn't enough controls on it. The doctors didn't necessarily explain to people the controls on this, what really can happen if you take too many of these and affect your life. So we're part of that lawsuit against them. And so we've gotten dollars back now. So we have to use these dollars to make sure that people are educated about the potential addictions and possibilities that can happen with excessive use of these narcotics, right? And so we have grants for organizations now working in the community, the people are on the front line helping people with addictions and help them. Because at the end of the day, if we don't, they're just going to end up in our facilities, right? They're going to end up at the hospitals, no insurance, you paid for it. End up in the jail, mental health unit, you paid for it. So we have to help individuals in our community, if anything, to minimize our costs. Secondly, if we believe it's the right thing to do as human beings and people of Christ, right? So help out individuals that are in need, right? So the county government now is grant organizations. We've hired staff that are watching how these dollars spent and how they're affecting this program. We're doing trying different programs for people to minimize them getting addicted to it and help them get off of addiction. We have staff now that are going to be qualified to this. If you know someone, you call us and we help you find solutions for that person, right? And so it's tough. What do you do, right? And so I've been in that situation. It's tough to find it. So we're going to do that part. We're also going to do community health medics. It's a great new service we're going to have. We get a lot of calls on individuals that are getting addicted to drugs and things and taking all EMS calls away. It's not necessarily life support. Sometimes they just have to, unfortunately, the Narcan shot you can take and get you over an overdose. We don't necessarily need to roll the whole ambulance and the whole fire engine out there to that person. Community medics can go out there, talk to the person, provide the drugs to them, and then also work with them, find out why we're here. What else is going on in your life that's causing you these concerns? A lot of times there's other issues that we can get you counseling and help with, or other groups, work groups, support groups. So we're going to be kind of proactively investing, trying to minimize our costs. It's a big cost to a lot of governments right now is the impact on your emergency services. And if your emergency services are dealing with all this issues, that's that important, they won't be there in your time of need when you need them there in 7 minutes and you have a heart attack or something or a car accident. So we have to minimize these other distractions. So it's a program we're trying out. We're going to see how it works. Affordable housing. Housing prices are going crazy in the state of Florida, right? That's because of supply and demand, man, number one. Everybody wants to be in Florida. I already told you it's the greatest state in the country, and we believe we will live in one of the greatest countries, one of the greatest counties in the whole state. And everybody just keeps living here. So when you go home, stop telling them how great it is here, right? Tell them it's hot, and there's mosquitoes, and there's hurricanes, and tell them the snow's good. Keep shoveling it, right? So, I lived up in Kentucky one time. I'll never move back. But everybody keeps moving this, so that's okay. It's a great problem to have, I guess, right? That causes housing prices to go up. It does cause people to be able to afford the housing prices. People renting, insurance costs going up. We see it. Anybody start paying a lot more than 30% of your actual income every month for rent. You're paying 50, 60%. It causes problems for individuals on a monthly basis. So we're doing a plan right now on how the whole county, how we can help with this. There is we're leading a homeless in a community meetings now every month, working with the groups and the churches in the community, trying to figure out what can be done as more people enter homelessness. We're also working to try to prevent people from getting there. I'm going to talk about some grants in a minute to help people from stay in their housing, so we can keep them in that housing, and then they won't necessarily end up for us having to try to provide services for homelessness. So we are addressing the topic of homelessness and trying to find a solution. It's a tough thing. No one's really ever solved it ever. And so we're going to see what we can do as a community. If we can just help a couple individuals, that's great for those individuals going forward. We are developing our own affordable housing in this county. We just rezoned a piece of property last meeting, and so we have some other properties that we're going to be working with, hopefully nonprofit groups like Habitat for Humanity and other groups to develop housing in the county. We're going to be building some affordable housing for individuals, so we can make sure that people have help that problem. We can't solve it. The problem is bigger than we can solve. We're also working on some policies for developers that come in here. Is that policies that see if they can build. If they want to expand houses, number of houses they're going to build, if they want that and put more houses in the community, why not a portion of those, 10% of them, 5 or 10%, be built for the individuals in the working class, affordable class, can afford to buy that house, right? Not every house has to be built that's $350,000 anymore, right? I don't know who buys these houses. I wouldn't buy that. I mean, it's amazing, right? But somehow people are planning loans and buying these houses. Why not 5, 10% of them being built every community for the working class, right? Teachers, deli managers at Publix, right? Every day with all the county employees, buy them and sell those at $185, $190, let them get a loan for that, and then allow the developer the other density. They'll still make millions. By law, I can't make them make less money, but we can make them build affordable housing. So we're working on that with the Board of County Commissioners to see if we can make that happen. That's the easiest way to solve the problem, is to make the developers do it. Health and Human Services. We have a department, Health and Human Services in the county, that provides services. A lot of services I'm going to go through. Currently, we have an application available for rehab of houses. It's income-based, low to moderate incomes. But if you have air conditioning replaced, roof, leaky windows, you can apply for this grant with us. And we'll see if you qualify. We come out and contractor comes out of the house, figures out what has to get fixed, and then they eventually come back and fix it for you. So there's a grant available. Health and Human Services Department, contact the county. We'll get you to the right folks. They have a website for it. And at that point, we can help you apply. And we love that program. We try to do it every year or 2 years. Go out. And that helps people stay in their houses, right? Because sometimes the roof is $20,000 now for a crazy roof on a house. And so to come over that dollars is tough, right? And so these programs help those individuals out. Not even on here, we do have down payment assistance. Someone's going to buy a house. We have a great program. If you know someone wants to move to the community and buy a house, please come ask for our down payment assistance program. We give people $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for down payment. That's tough to buy a house. To save that kind of money these days, you can barely save for dinner next week, right? So, so to save that money in the future, great program. Please spread that news that we continually. you stay in that house for 10 years, it's forgiven. You sell it, you get your money back in 10 years, but if not, you just forgive it. So we have a lot of that connections to local services. Unclaimed bodies, it's kind of, we do take care of that. It happens every year. There's, when people die, they don't have anybody else around so burying them, but the county does take care of all that. We do prescription programs, discount cards for prescription programs, that we have all those things, and to help out in access to affordable health care plans. So if you're buying insurance on the affordable health care, we have people that can assist you and tell you how to do that. Public library system, I think they're here today. Make sure you visit our public library booth here today. They great things. Not only if you haven't been to libraries lately, please stop by. We have 4 libraries, one in downtown Brooksville, all know the east side, you guys are pretty close to drive over to the Ridge Manor Library over there. It's a great library. Not only do we have normal books and things, we have so many other services that are available, a lot of them electronically too. You don't even have to go there. But you can learn languages, we have classes all the time. We have a newsletter they send out, please sign up for that. That tells you that it's continually changing the opportunities we do for things for people to get involved in and do throughout the library. Answers.com, you can rent Wi-Fi things to the internet if you don't have that in the house, and tablets, and all kind of music lessons. So there's a lot more things in the library, a ton of basically services and activities we provide, so make sure you check out our library system. Transit services, we have a normal bus line in the city of Brooksville, and then we do have on-demand service, and we work in Mid-Florida on that too. So if you need a ride to go to the doctor's office and you can't have a ride and you can't drive or something now, there's a service in the community for a little small charge. We'll pick you up and take you and bring you back, right? So please remember about that. Anybody else you know that needs access, definitely seniors and disabled individuals, high priority there to use that service, but there is an on-demand service to take you anywhere in the county. We are planning a new bus route on State Road 50 right now, straight down this road all the way to the east side of the county and back. That'll probably be starting early next year. And so in the future, there'll be a bus going right by the Phoenix community every day, every hour. For more services for everybody's. Mosquito control is here today. Yes, and so I always say that Florida, we can't live here without air conditioning and mosquito control, 100%. So we have a great department of individuals with mosquito control that every day is their job is try to prevent us from getting bitten every day. And I thank them every day for that. So they're out there going all over the county trying to find out where mosquitoes are breeding at, treating for those mosquitoes, and minimizing those costs. We have a service. If you're getting bit on your back porch tomorrow night, please call us. We'll come out and walk around your property and figure out. A lot of times it's your neighbor's problem, right? A lot of times your neighbor got something over there holding water or something. Right? It's never your problem, right? So it's what most of the neighbors breed mosquitoes for some reason, and they like them or something. I don't know. But we'll go over there and we'll treat good mosquitoes in your neighbor's yard. Or they're gone away for 6 months, right? And that pool pump turned off, right? That happens. You're going to grow a lot of mosquitoes real quick, I think. And so those things that we have access, we can help solve those problems for people, right? So please call, and I know I'm sure they're working already on all the lakes, beautiful lakes you have around here to minimize the mosquito control in the future. You do a great job. Veteran services, is there any veterans in the room? I think a few people out there, myself. Okay, outstanding. So we have veteran service officers hired by your county. Their job is to help you with any of your benefit questions and make sure you're getting your benefits or make things again turned around. Please call or meet their office and let them know what we can do for you. Sometimes it's good to check to make sure you're getting all the benefits you should be getting. They do change over time, right? Congress hopefully don't take them away anymore, but it's a struggle sometimes to get claims through. We have access to the VA hospital. We have a van that goes down every day, so we can take you to the appointments every day to the veterans. If you're applying for any pensions and unemployment, we assist those. And basically anything that you need with your veteran service, we have veteran service officers here to serve you and help you and just check to make sure it's happening right. They know people in the VA. They can call and hound them about why this claim is not back yet. I necessarily can't make the VA work any faster though. They are the government, right? So I see the same struggles, right? So, but we can try. We've had some pretty good successes sometimes. So we do have some great individuals. Please let us know how we can accept you. And then also, I was going to point out, we all know a lot of people in this world, right? If you know someone that had someone pass away, like a spouse or something, that was a veteran, please let them call. Please put the other family members in place with the Veteran Service Office because there's a lot of benefits. They can help them with the benefits they're entitled to, right? Whether that is helping them. Most of the veterans are allowed a cemetery. You can get buried, reduce cost of things, and so the spouses or the kids might necessarily know anything about it. They just forget about it. Yeah, he served 3 years. Please let the people know. Hey, the Veteran Service Office will help them, and we'll walk them right through that process. There's just something great to do, another project we're working on. I think it's going to be great in the community. We'll call it Mermaid Lakes, right? So what this is, on the west side of the county, about Hernando Beach area, Has ever been to the Silver Dolphin restaurant? Right behind that, there's a big old preserve, Weeki State Preserve. You might have been out there and walked. A great place to go walk. Currently, the entrance is on Osceola. The county bought an old restaurant, Our Beach, right next to it. We own a parking lot. So we just got a lease on 350 acres of this property. There's 14 lakes in there. There's an old mine. They used to mine there. So we just leased 350 acres of it through the Water Management District. It's got trails in there now, but it's not. And you can ask Melissa. I almost killed her in there a couple of times. Walking through there with her, and she's like, "Where are you walking? Come on, let's walk around this thing." And turn around. I was like, "Oh, probably should have brought some water and stuff." So it's all the way around it. It's a beautiful property, right? So what we're going to do is we just got these. We're going to make easier access. Right now, you got to walk like a quarter mile, half a mile to get into where the beautiful part is. Nice bridge, ADA accessibility. We're building everything ADA accessible in our community. And so right now, it's not really ADA accessible at all. It's not really fair for them to do it that way. And then we're going to have a proper bathroom building. There's an old, I don't know, what do you call it, a porta potty? It's a terrible old thing out there. So we're not staying, right? And we're going to have proper facilities out there so you can enjoy it. Shade structures, benches where you can sit down and walk and you can walk around here and enjoy it. And then we're going to have a boardwalk along there. We're also going to have kayaks and things for the river, the lakes. You can go out and enjoy the lakes. There is some fish in that place. Hopefully we can grow some more fish in there in the future. But there's also going to be a great boardwalk that's going to be along there, and it's a great place to take a nice walk, right? And hopefully eventually we'll connect to the restaurants there. So we can go have a lunch in the afternoon and walk over there and enjoy some walking along the boardwalk and see some lakes, and it's having an enjoyable destination place to go. And so we just got this lease. Last board meeting, starting to plan this out now. We're excited about this amenity in our county on the west side. So I'll wrap up real quickly some challenges that we have in the county going forward. Really is infrastructure and to grow for economic development and growth as we continue to move forward. Development comes in, putting in roads. I ain't talking a lot about roads yet. So roads are getting real busy, right? So congestion, and that's a lot of the traffic coming on the roads. But we are working on trying to expand the roadways as necessary. So that's one of our challenges going forward, is trying to widen roads as fast as development's coming in. Part of that is funding for the transportation board, as we're looking at another funding source this year, how to fund that. And then, as I mentioned, the housing, affordable and workforce housing. It's a new initiative for us, this community, try to property rezoning, and we're going to build some, and we're going to partner with developers and make developers build some of this housing going forward, so that everyday working folks and everybody can actually be able to own a house in this community and live here and stay here and have a great family here. So with that, I'll wrap up, but I will take questions if necessary. Thank you. We're going to do questions. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Right ahead. Yeah, they're going to bring a mic, but I'll repeat the question.
Well, I just was curious about what's the update on Pine.
Oh, great question. I thought about it driving over, and I was like, I need to put Pine Island in the presentation. Yes. So Pine Island. Thank you. So Pine Island, you got hit by the storm and getting knocked down, so we had to go out and really destroy it. The water is a pretty powerful thing. Sidewalks gone, the walls gone, everything knocked down, concrete structures taken out. So we had to repair it all, and so it is under construction right now. If you've seen the updates, we had to bid it out, and we got, so they built new sidewalks out there. They're building the walls right now. And we think within another month, it'll be open. So it's going pretty quickly now. It took a while to get the contract in place, but we have government rules. We got to bid it out so that we make sure that we get the best price and transparency and everything. So we had to bid it out, but it'll be open hopefully another month. That's maximum. Good question.
If you go on the county's Facebook page, you'll see pictures of the progress that they're making. They do a really great job with that.
This might be a bad question.
That's a never bad question. This is good.
Has anybody ever thought about slowing down a little bit?
I think about that every day. We were thinking yesterday we would be happy if the development, people would stop trying to develop. And give us, I think we have enough permits in-house to last us things to review for the next year. The concern problem with that is, why don't you just stop everything, right? So the balance of that is property rights, right? So people,
Slow down, I don't wanna stop.
huh?
I don't wanna stop, we just need to slow
So
down.
we kind of agree. But that's the, it's the. I think you can't have anything. Capitalism, right? It's how capitalism is made, right? So people have the right to try to be inventive and prosperous in this country, and the right. So they own. There's a lot of people who want to invest dollars and make money, and so they own property. They have the right to develop that property. We have a long-range plan that says property is going to be residential in the future, right? Right across the street here, right, there was a property. I think you got it approved. I think so, yeah. RV park got rezoned. So there's a piece of property right over here on right next to Springer Lane. It's all trees now. It's got a big sidewalk in front of it. Went through a rezone. So that property owner wants to make money on the property, right? So he got a development permit. So the board looked at it. They did reduce it some. They didn't give him everything he wanted, but you have rights to develop property. So the county, all the land in the future is planned in the future. What I can tell you, what we do, is here's how we control it. We don't change our comp plan, right? So we have a comp plan, which is a plan for the whole community of where things are going to be. You're actually pretty well situated here. That to the east of you is a lot of agricultural land, and not all of that's going to be developed. It probably will never be developed, right? So everything that's in the forest will develop, but the areas that we don't change the comp plan very often. So things that are planned residential now, things that are planned for agriculture are probably going to stay agriculture. But yeah, that's the concern. It's just property rights and people's willingness to move forward. But the board does turn down the ones they don't like.
I had a question. The ordinance relating to background checks to come in the village. Can you explain the ordinance to us and the background, the reasons for it?
So that is, so that's the ordinance regarding sexual predators. So we passed an ordinance that says, so background checks, and just tying the background checks to that. So, okay, that's because they live here. So, yes, if you're going to live or work within, I think it's 100,000. What's the number? Let's see, probably 1,000. So it's 1,000 feet. Church, school, a couple other places. You don't allow sexual predators if you're on that list to live there, work there, be there for extended periods of time. You can be very limited transitory things on that. The Board of County Commissioners has decided that they're going to limit the areas in the community where individuals that are being sexual predators can live. So I think you're affected because obviously you're a church right here, right in your community, and so individuals that probably live here you have to let them know that they can't live here. Now, doing the background check, credit to you for doing it. There's a county ordinance, and it's really, I guess it's up to the people that are buying and selling the houses to know that there's a county ordinance for that. But if we find out, then they probably have to move. Can't live there.
Is the 1,000 feet going to keep predators away from schools and churches?
I'm sorry?
Is the fact that they're 1,000 feet away from schools and churches going to keep them away from it?
No. Are they going to keep it away from it? No, I think that's up to the sheriff's office to track where they go every day, right? So it isn't going to keep them away? No. It is going to limit the opportunity for them to be in that area. So the Board of County Commissioners had a direction to limit the areas of where they operate at. And so I think that ordinance gives the sheriff's office what happened was the sheriff's office didn't have a ordinance to necessarily enforce those things, and that did happen. People operating, working right in those areas, and they didn't want them to, and somebody wanted them removed, and there wasn't an ordinance saying they couldn't do it. So we put an ordinance in place to give the sheriff's office their ability to do that. That's how that happened.
Is there any plans to expand County Line Road all the way out to 19, double, maybe 4-lane highway like at the beginning?
I would personally love that.
So, great question. Yes and no. So there are lots of plans, none of them getting built. So there are so County Line Road, probably the worst road in the county, right? We worked on that. So what happened really is that we went out for a sales tax revenue source in the last election, and what would happen is the reason for the sales tax is it accelerates projects getting done, right? So revenues provide sources of revenue to build things. So County Line Road was on that. It didn't pass. The citizens said they didn't want to use sales tax to fund that source. And so then the project still, well, that one's probably just not going to go forward. I mean, it would not go forward very quickly at all because there's no revenue source for that project. It's $150 million. And truthfully, what happens is you get about $11 million a year in gas tax coming in. And that's used really a lot to pave roads in the county, right-of-way, signals. We've got 104 signals in the county we maintain on 24/7. So all that dollars go to maintain right-of-ways, paving roads, and widening and doing intersection improvements. So we're doing there's a signal on Linden and County Line coming in. We're doing Ayers and Colbert intersection. We're designing an intersection right now. We're designing Anderson Snow and Colbert intersection, 50 and Barclay. So we're really just doing intersections because that's the funding we have. So gas tax doesn't provide enough funding. It's kind of a failed revenue source. Most counties don't just use it for researching now. So the answer is there's no funding source to widen County Line Road. We're trying to work with DOT. We thought we were going to have them take the road over, but we were going to transfer it to them, and then they would basically widen it. And that's still hopefully the plan. But they said no last year because if I go back to inflation and capital costs. There are existing projects where they're widening things around the state and Turnpike and right here in Brooksville, it's all DOT money. Costs went up so much in the last 2 years that they had to stop taking on new projects. So they said no more projects until we figure out how to pay for the ones we're already in because costs went up so much. So County Line Road, hopefully DOT will take it or highlight, we didn't talk about it today, but we're probably going to put another sales tax on the ballot in November and ask for funding to ask citizens if they want to fund transportation with a sales tax. That's an option for the citizens, whether you want to pay for it that way or pay for things on property taxes, but it's a decision for the citizens to decide. Yeah.
I have a question, actually two of them. One is I'd like to know about housing additions that are close to us and the church. I'm hearing that there's hundreds of houses coming in across from the Brooksville Wesleyan Church, and what timing that has. The other question is on Old Jasmine Road between here and the Presbyterian Church, huge business going in. Maybe that's one that you talked about, but I didn't pick up on that.
Okay, thinking about the Old Jasmine property. So housing near you. So what I know is the only thing that's been approved recently is I did talk right across the street from the Wesleyan Church next to Cedar Drive. There was approved that was basically an RV park, people coming in and staying in RVs. They have some townhome models people could rent out in there. So that was a community that was approved. So that potentially might get built. We'll see. Some of these things never get built. We'll see. And then
Jasmine. The substation is being built.
Oh, okay, yeah, substation. Yeah, there is a substation going up there. Yeah, so Duke Power has been clearing the right of way all the way from the villages down through here in the city of Brooksville. They're upgrading the transmission lines, putting more power, big higher level power in this area because of the growth in the area. So they're bringing in more power. And there was a property cleared. It is a substation for them to put up and basically have big electrical equipment in there, transformers and things, and capacitors in there to deal with the power. So that's going to be basically a power generation station, I believe. No, that's probably not. That's probably. The Duke might have a few more jobs, but that's really equipment that. It's not like it's a big company coming in there. It's just power line equipment. They pay high taxes, which is good, and they don't require services. But utilities are the number one taxpayer in the county. But house. Yes, but but it'll just be a bunch of equipment in there. You drive by and stay out of it because it's high voltage stuff, right? So that's it. All right.
Excellent.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give Jeff Rogers a round of applause. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty exhausted just hearing all the things that are going on, all the things that he absolutely knows about. So thank you, Jeff, and thank you to the team of people that came here today from the county. We really appreciate it. Let's give them a round of applause. Our staff, and in particular our board, is so just pleased to be able to give these types of opportunities for everybody to hear about things that are going on in our county and around us here. So please take an opportunity to visit the vendors if you haven't. If you have other questions, Jeff will stay around for you for the rest of the day. Will you stay here all day?
Yeah. No.
For a little bit more.
Depends on what's for lunch. We'll see.
You may stay for lunch. It might be lasagna. I don't know. Anyway, don't forget about Sunday night for the ice cream social at 6 o'clock here. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.